Hello, I am Aiden Krokstrom, and I'm going to be talking about growing food in space. Earth may be a beautiful place, but no matter how much we want it to be, it absolutely cannot be our home forever. Sooner or later, we will have to venture into the stars and begin looking for a new home, or possibly just move a couple of planets down to Mars. Either way, one thing we will need during this time is a source of food. This is one of the reasons many different countries have been conducting experiments regarding growing food in space. Research has been done in laboratories here on Earth and on the International Space Station. Today, I'd like to talk to you about how food is grown in space and what most recent research has been done. Only about 3 years ago, in August of 2015, the first food was eaten after being harvested in the space station. This, of course, was only after it was tested for bacteria. But it was not easy to get to this point. Growing food in space is extremely difficult. It requires a lot of things that are much easier to get here on Earth, like basic food and water, and of course light. Water, for instance, is much easier to just pour on your plant here on Earth, but in space, it floats around, so that's quite the problem that a company named Orbitech out of Wisconsin decided to take and try and fix. They developed a system called the Veggie, which you can see in a picture here. To handle the light problem, they developed a large bay of LEDs colored red, blue, and green, which are there to provide the plant with different types of light. There's a fan that draws air in from the cabin, which you can kind of see in the center of the LED bay. There is also a base plate, which is what holds the plant, and it is able to move up and down to move closer or further away from the lighting. There's a plastic accordion-like cover that isolates the plants a little bit more from the outside area. And most importantly, there are these specially made bags that hold the plant in place. They also have fertilizer inside of them, and they have water tubes that go into them so the system can provide the plant with a specified amount of water. The system was originally planned to run 3 tests when it was taken to the space station in 2014. Veggie 1A, B, and C. When an experiment begins, all of the systems are programmed according to the plant, meaning the lights and the fan and a couple of other things. Tests A and B both grew for 33 days, and C grew for 90 days. Test A and B were both to grow red romaine lettuce. Test A was more of just a starting test to make sure that the system would work, while B was to continue testing with different water supplies and also with the goal of producing plants that could be eaten at the end of the test. Here's a picture after 30 days of Test B on the space station. And here's a picture after Test B where Jill Lindgren and Scott Kelly are sampling the lettuce on the space station. Test C was to monitor the growth of flowers. This picture shows the flowers after 87 days of growth, almost at the end of their grow period. All of these tests provide helpful information, and many more tests are being planned. One of the more recent experiments conducted with the Veggie unit is named the Veggie 4, which consists of 2 tests titled like the previous examples, A and B. This study focuses on salad plants grown for food. More specifically, it looks at the formulation of light, as in the ratio of red to blue lighting that would be needed to make the plant grow the best. And because of the isolating nature of the space station, the crew was also tasked with taking regular questionnaires regarding their feelings toward gardening. These are, of course, not all of the things being tracked during this test, but they are some of the biggest. For the first test, Veggie 4A, this one grew for 28 days, and the second, Veggie 4B, grew for 56 days. Both of these tests will study growth of Mizuna mustard, a leafy green plant, which was selected after lots of comparison here on Earth between different other plants. For each test, A and B, 2 different light settings will be run. Once again, as in different red to blue light ratios. These will be ran in different veggie chambers to completely isolate them from one another. And of course, all of these will also be running on Earth at the exact same time so that there is a control. Throughout, astronauts will be given mood questionnaires to determine their feelings on growing these plants. And they will also track the health of the plants. After the test is complete, they will be picked and eaten by the astronauts and then graded based on things like color and taste. The astronauts will also take one last mood test on the space station, which is basically the same as the others, and then once again they will take it once they come back to Earth to kind of finalize the project. This is just a small amount of research that has been done in an effort to take us closer to being able to spending long periods of time in space without refueling from Earth, and access to the nutrients from fresh produce. Every day, astronauts on the space station and tons of people here on Earth continue to research how plants will grow in space. I believe it's at least comforting to think that when we're forced to leave Earth for one reason or another, we will be able to take a small piece of life here with us, in the form of the foods that we love, like fresh produce, or maybe even some potatoes, for some fresh French fries. Thank you. Here are my sources for research. And here are my image sources.